Yo, what is good, everyone? Today, I probably have the longest commentary I've ever done at just over 10 minutes. So, forgive me if I do get a bit boring or sound a bit lost along the way. Personally, this is a video that I've been wanting to do for such a long time, and that is the different types of players in a pro Call of Duty team, and the roles they take on, what it means to play a certain style, and how these variety of players together can make the perfect team to keep winning games. This is no different from Overwatch competitive teams, League of Legends competitive teams, and even normal sports teams like football, where you have a goalkeeper, a midfielder, a defender, a striker, and how they can all work together to complete that synergy and can help make the team even better. Now, today is going to be an adaptation of the tactics used by real pro Call of Duty teams, but slightly simplified for more amateur players and for those who play in public multiplayer lobbies rather than in a true competitive setting. So there will be a lot of content thrown out today. Please hang tight, and I hope everyone who watches this video is able to learn something new today, possibly forging a new identity and playstyle in Call of Duty. Firstly, I want to start by the separation of SMG and AR players. If you have to choose based on your ability and preference, are you more of an SMG or AR type of player? Now, in this version of Modern Warfare this year, we have teams mostly consisting of 5 players, and the usual setup is beneficial to in such a way to have 4 SMG players and 1 assault rifle player. However, in some cases, depending on the game mode and the player's ability and on the map, it could be actually beneficial to have 3 SMGs and 2 ARs instead. Under the SMG bracket, we have the first role, which is what I call an entry player. Now, this player is the first man into the objective, whether that is to push the B flag in domination or to run into the hardpoint to capture it first for his team. It is essential that the entry is able to enter the objective first, draw the first blood, and win his 1v1 against the first rushing player of the opposing team. This provides your own team with the superiority in numbers, and is the key to turning the tide in your favor and advantage. After doing so, in an ideal situation, your 2 followers of the SMG support slayer and the SMG objective player should have tagged along to the objective, allowing you to further leave the objective and push towards the enemy spawn to get more kills if possible. An entry player should always be ready for a fast-paced gameplay, close quarter combat, and the main skill set is to rely on their quick reaction abilities. The second role in the SMG bracket is the SMG Slayer. This player is the second man into the objective right after the aforementioned entry player. This role is to support the entry either in a gunfight or if the entry loses his 1v1, it is crucial that the SMG Slayer is able to avenge his teammate quickly to prevent being outnumbered by the opponents. Upon securing the objective, the SMG Slayer should put himself in between the enemy spawn and the main objective, defending it and killing any opposition coming his way. The best way to do this is by holding a choke point to the objective if possible. The SMG Slayer, his main job is to kill, so this highlights his importance as a team carrier with much responsibility and should be someone who is always ready for a fast-paced gameplay as well, close quarters combat, and must have a superior gun skill ability to win even those 1v2 gunfights. The third role is the objective player. He should be the third man into the objective area, and his job is to stay on the hill to secure points for his team. With a good enough entry and SMG Slayer to cover, the OBJ should relatively be more defensive minded, and it is better for him to use a trophy system rather than dead silence to hold down the area and rack up the score for his team. His main objective is to stay alive in the zone, and a key skill needed for an OBJ is to be able to read the minimap well to predict where enemies are spawning and cover the angles hitting the zone he is in. An OBJ is the potential match winner for a team as he's the one playing the objective, which is the only way to win a game. One should expect a fast-paced gameplay as well, where enemies push into your objective point, as well as close quarters combat, as most points are usually in buildings or corners of the map, where enemies would try to hard push you, and it is necessary that the OBJ is able to perform under immense pressure. The fourth role in the SMG category is the flanker. Unlike the first three, this player needs to run dead silence and run the channel furthest away from the objective until he is behind the enemy lines to cause a distraction and waste time for the enemy. Every moment of chaos caused to the enemy and every opposition killed is an extra second bought for a team to play their roles in the objective to step closer to victory. However, the flanker might have a secondary job scope, which is to rotate towards a better spawn location for his team, be it an early rotation to the next hardpoint or trying to flip the spawns in a more favorable site flag in domination. This is due to the horrible squad spawn system in Modern Warfare this year. Unlike past COD titles where spawns are more predictable depending on which objective your team is holding, now you're mostly spawning on where the teammate furthest away from the enemy is. The flanker must be a player who is also able to hold in their own where he's mostly solo, which means he's away from the rest of the team. And while the same fast-paced gameplay and close quarters combat is relatable too, he should have the best map knowledge in his team for this role. Lastly, we have the fifth role, and this is the main AR Slayer. This player is equipped with a longer range weapon compared to the rest of his team and opponents, and his main job is to hold the power position of the map. This could be usually the busy middle lane of the map if it is a simple 3-lane map, or it could also be inside the hill, sometimes near the B flag in domination, or some hardpoint locations even. This role is to pick off enemies from distance before they can get close, and shut off the popular running channels to limit movement of the opposing team. Essentially, the main AR Slayer is the playmaker of the team, and his superb location allows him to provide overwatch and intel where he must then relay onto his other teammates. Usually he is given the captain role due to the highest responsibility and communication skills needed. Unlike the others however, this player has a slower paced gameplay compared to the rest, and deals with mid-range combat rather than being up close. The requirements to fulfill this job is supreme accuracy in shots and decisiveness in choosing engagements, as well as managing team communications. If you guys remember my very first video, I played an AR Slayer role where I allowed my 5 random teammates in the public lobby to push the hardpoint objective, while I stayed from a distance and picked up 50 kills in the process of protecting them from the onslaught of enemies. In this game, I actually played an SMG OBJ role, getting more close and personal to the enemies, getting the most hardpoint time from my team, while actually also dropping 85 kills. I want to say that this goes to show that it doesn't mean the Slayer gets the most kills every time, and a capable OBJ player is more than qualified to do so instead. Hopefully, and I sincerely hope that this encourages more people to play in a run and gun style, which is what Call of Duty was made for, rather than consistently camping in a corner of the map, especially made worse in this year's version of Modern Warfare when they introduced the mounting system. I have to put out the point too that the best balance may not be for a team of 5 players 100% sticking fully steadfastly on the specific roles, and that for amateur teams trying to get better, it could actually be good for players to learn how to play a secondary role to cover for a teammate that is either dead and waiting for that 5-second respawn, or for a teammate that may not be performing as well as expected on match day. Players able to play multi-roles in professional Call of Duty are called a flex, and are widely sought after to fill up spots in teams that require more flexibility and fluidity in an otherwise rigid squad. Now, just to clarify, the 5 or 6 roles mentioned above are all relatable to the respawn objective game modes only, which actually includes domination and hardpoint played by the pros, but it could still be adapted to others like capture the flag and whatnot. However, with the most popular mode that I know a lot of you guys play, which is Search and Destroy, and it being a 1 life mode, the tactics and roles are extremely different, and I will cover that soon in another video, but I just want to make sure that you guys know that it does not relate to today's video. Now, I know the background video gameplay was recorded in a public lobby Hardpoint game, so to make things clearer, I will be moving on to the CDL playlist soon, which is following the exact rules and regulations of what pro players play on. And this is where I should be coming up with tips on how to play the specific trail game modes of professional Call of Duty this year. If you guys are curious as to how roles of players can fit into a team for Warzone, the Battle Royale mode in Call of Duty this year, I will also be preparing a video for that too, albeit with the help of my new team that I've been playing with of late. I actually had to switch from my normal EU team when leaving London back in March to my Asian squad when I got back to Singapore for the long summer. So if anyone else is interested in playing both CDL playlist matches together or get some Warzone wins in Verdansk, please drop your Activision names and ID in the comments below. Let's get some games going. And as always, if this video helped you improve your Call of Duty knowledge and experience, and you enjoyed the video, please leave a like down below. Um, I'm curious to know what type of players you guys are, so comment down below as well. Let's get some interaction going. Which one of the 5 roles in Call of Duty you guys usually play in? And if you want to see more of these tips and tricks, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next video.